Hey, hey, oh, hey. I never quite know sometimes whether it belongs, whether it does this. It's all rough and ready in this world because one of the things I want to show is that it's practically perfectly imperfect is the whole thing. It's all about taking action. So today we are going to be interviewing a lovely Dani Smith, and she is going to be sharing more about her journey, and I'm going to be telling you a little bit more about what she's about and her talk. It's in the Sparkle and Thrive Summit. It's going to be fab. So Dani is the queen of business organisation. She's a business coach and mentor, and she lives in Leeds in West Yorkshire in the UK. She helps service-based business owners to empower their business and unlock success through productivity and profit. And who doesn't want some of that? So in the summit, she's going to be talking about how it's fundamental, how important it is to operate. How we operate is fundamental is the title of her talk. And it's something that I think is often missed. And I am going to just leave it over to Dani before I start talking loads as well, because I love all of this. So Dani, can you share a little bit about your business journey and what led you to where you are today?
Of course I can, thank you. So I started out as a keepsake maker, making memory bears from clothes for lots of different occasions, mostly memorial. And it didn't really take off. It was very much just a hobby until 2016 when I relaunched through the Prince's Trust and got a mentor, and I learned everything about business, and it really helped me grow. But still, I wasn't making consistent money. It was just dribs and drabs of sales. So I started out to learn as much as I possibly can, and through implementation of everything that I learned, either low cost or free, it turned around in 4 months. And when it turned around, because I was busy with like kids, family, working, I looked at ways that I could manage it a bit better and kind of create a balance between work and life. And so what happened was I was sharing in a local networking group that I'm running network events as well. I shared some of the methods that I used and things that I were doing, and I didn't realize nobody else was doing it this way. And so people reached out and like, you should do this, you should be a coach, you should teach this. I was like, what? But I did listen to them, and I launched in 2021, originally as a creative business coach. But then a year in, I realized that I was really good at service-based business, running a service-based business. And I absolutely loved supporting service-based businesses as well to start up and grow. So I changed niche, which was very scary. I call it breaking my business overnight, but it was the best thing I could have ever done. And I then became the queen of business organisation, which is truly what I am. I'm a business coach and mentor, but I focus on organisation, and it plays a massive impact on mine and my clients' lives and businesses, because I truly believe that being organised helps you to find that success. And I've come up with this philosophy of becoming, or aiming to become, time rich, because it's not just about the money we make, but it's about the time that we have as well. So it's about being rich in that and doing what we love and having what we love, as well as just money. So yes, I help you find a way to make your business profitable, but I also focus on the time aspect as well,
which I just love. And the thing for me, and we were talking about this before, is the whole fact that you can have lots of people who do similar things under a title, say business mentor or business coach, but actually the different elements of it is what makes a difference. And that's a big part for me of the summit. There are quite a few business coaches. There are different, there's different, labels in the room, but it's all with a different element, and we all need to connect to, and that's my goal, is everyone connects to what they most need at that time, and we can embrace the collaboration, because together we're going to be much more powerful than going, oh, I'm not going to do anything with that person because they could be similar to me, or there's a crossover or whatever. And that's something I think is really key and important. Plus, I love a good I'm not great at designing processes. I'm great at breaking them and working out what needs to rework, because I was an internal auditor. That was my job. So what advice would you give to someone feeling overwhelmed by the demands of growing their business?
Oh, so if you're feeling overwhelmed with the demands, I think the first thing is to give yourself a little bit of space, which sounds counterproductive, really, because people instantly think, no, I need to do more. I've got things to do. I'm so busy. I'm overwhelmed. But then they keep in that cycle, and it just gets worse. Often, our body tells us to rest by making us ill. So it would be to step back, and I'd actually make this part of your routine. So it's not about waiting until you get, I mean, if you're asking this question, you're probably already there, but take that rest, then get back to it. But I think we've got to put something in place to stop that from happening. And one thing that's like magical for me at the moment is when I go to the gym and then I swim afterwards. And then I wind down, I go to one that's got a spa, so I wind down in the jacuzzi, and then I start work. And I am so productive. Like I can have less time to work, but I'm so productive because of what I've just done. So I've adapted with that and try and fit in a workout every single morning before I start work, before the kids get up even, because then I know how much that impacts my day. So it's about working with my energy. So if we put that in place in a regular basis in whatever way works for you, it helps you to avoid that burnout, that frustration, that overwhelm, so that it doesn't feel as demanding because you've given yourself what you need first, which sounds insane because I'm a business coach, but I'm talking about looking after your health, but it does make a difference.
I agree, and that's a big part of what I love and what I'm passionate about is the fact that we need to make sure we are nurturing ourselves, because we're the key to our businesses, aren't we?
Yeah, definitely. That's it. When someone said that to me, that was the game changer for me, because I've grown my business really well without doing that. But actually, it was this constant cycle of burning out and not a lot of flexibility either. And don't get me wrong, it takes time to there's no perfect balance, but it takes time to get it balanced enough to think, actually, this is getting easier now. So to get to that point, we've got to definitely prioritize and look after ourselves, even though everybody out there is telling you to do it. But maybe listen to me and Emma today and listen to it.
I think it can be tricky though, can't it? So
yeah.
What tools, techniques or habits have been most effective for you in managing your time and energy?
So I'm going to talk about some that are around organisation, because that is what I'm all about. So the reason I called the talk "How You Operate" is fundamental, because a lot of people, when I say operations, think, "Oh, that's advanced." It's not. I truly believe working on these things, these organisation techniques in the beginning, makes a difference now and later on. So tools that I recommend is looking at your time management, and I'm not going to tell everybody to go time blocking because it doesn't work for everybody. But look at where you're prioritizing your time. And I'm really excessive in, I would do an audit on like a daily basis, a weekly basis, a monthly basis, quarterly, yearly, like where are you actually putting your time? And the second thing is, when you're organizing your time, look at your life and business, because it can be really easy to separate them both. But you are one person living in both, doing both. So we have to merge them really and look at the bigger picture. So I like brain dump everything, brainstorm everything, look at all the things I want to get done, and then I can organize it. I can prioritize what needs to happen when, what amount of time it needs to take up, what frequency that happens. Like one example I always give is, we know we need to do something like, I hate this, but bookkeeping. So I look at that one task and think, right, I'll do that on a monthly basis. So then it becomes less overwhelming if I just think, right, start of the month, I'm going to get that done. And I think having a project management system has been a massive game changer for me in whatever way that works. I used to love Trello. I now love Basecamp. That shocks a lot of people that know me because I've changed systems, but I love Basecamp because it's affordable, it's easy. I love simplicity. So find the simple systems as well, the simple tools that you can use as well that you feel comfortable with, not what everybody else is telling you to use. And for me, that was Basecamp. So definitely, yeah, give those things a go.
Cool. I think that's the thing, isn't it? It's whatever works for you. We've got someone coming to talk about ClickUp in the summit. I still use Trello. I'm looking at moving over to ClickUp rather randomly. So I'm like, but I know I've seen Basecamp and I know that will work for others. And it is that whole thing. And that's one of the overall, I'm so glad you've kind of said all you've said. And it's again, coming out of all of the interviews, is you've got to find the way that works for you. And that can feel, amongst the noise, can't it, quite draining and quite challenging, because I don't know about you, but I think there's a big chunk of marketing right now, which is, this is the way, this is the way, this is the way. And even in the neurospicy world, this is the way for you if you've got this. This is the way if you're in this world, if you're whatever, because that's quite a big world at the moment. And we've got speakers coming to talk about that sort of thing in the summit. But don't you think it's that
Yeah.
I'd like to get the message out there. I want to help you work it out for you. Do you know what I mean? My brain's gone.
Yeah, I do know what you mean, and I so agree. And this is something I'm a huge I advocate against the expert advice, which is funny because originally I built my business on that expert, post so many times a day, do this, do that. I did grow my business that way, but the thing is, at that time in my life, I essentially had 4 jobs and 3 kids, disabled husband. So it got really, again, overwhelming. I burnt out. I was always working. I know better now, and I know that if I can't post X amount of times on X platforms or do this thing or that thing, then, and it's okay to just say, no, I'm not going to do that because it doesn't suit me. So it's about, like you said, finding your way. So I get questions all the time, and how many times should I post each day is one of them. And I think almost every business coach or mentor will answer that with an answer like 3 times or 5 times, 6 times. I've heard different answers. My answer is, what can you commit to right now? And I bet you've had the same with email marketing. How many emails should I send, Emma? Because I hear that one as well. And I'm interested in your answer to that, because what's your answer to that?
I do. That's one of my one of the most common questions is how many. And the way I sort of teach email marketing is integrating with everything else as well because of the time factor. But I always say, how many times can you commit to?
Yeah.
Start with where you're at now. Because for me, if you can do it, it's better to do it once a month than it is to do it for 3 weeks, not be able to do it again, and then you go off the rails and you don't contact them for 3 months. It's best how you can manage it. So when I had Ember, I was doing once a month. Then I moved to once a fortnight as I got more childcare. Then I moved to once a week. And there is in part about your audience as well. But so same as you with the posting. And I think that personally, I think that needs to be the answer, is you've got to start with what's your capacity.
Yeah, I say exactly the same thing about emails as well, because I've had the same question from clients, which is why I brought it up. And it's definitely about your capacity. But I think there's a bit of discernment had to be had around it, like what can you actually commit to, or what are you just saying you can't? So recognize where we're making excuses. And I hate saying that because I used to be the person that was triggered by that, but we do make excuses that I can't do this, and we're just not prioritizing it. So prioritize, but what can you actually commit to is really, really important. That's definitely a big thing with any task that you need to get done in your business.
Yeah, I agree. So this is a great question, and everybody's loved this. So how do you decide what to say no to or where to focus your efforts?
It's hard, isn't it, to say no? I'm better at it these days. I said no to something twice last week, and then I texted my friend and was like, I just said no to this. Like I really want to help, but I was like, look, I'm not available for this right now. I've not got the capacity. Because I did have a lot on, and actually had a really bad day that day, but I was really, polite, so be polite with it. But how do you know when to? I think it's recognizing what your needs are first, because at the end of the day, as much as we want to help people, and the people pleaser in us will want to say yes because of our, I think in this space anyway that we're in, we do want to help people. And because of that need and want to help people, we feel bad if we say no, but actually you don't have to. You don't even have to say no. You can say not right now. So I just kind of be polite and be honest to people that ask things. So I had a friend that wanted something from me last week, and I said, I would absolutely love to, but unfortunately I just feel like I don't have capacity for that right now because my focus is, and I told her what I was focusing on. And she accepted that, and she was like, totally understand, you do have a lot on. She knows me well. And it was really nice to be met with that response. So I look at where my energies are, what I'm actually available to do, like whether it's this today, this week, this month. And I just politely say no. But you don't have to say no, it can be no for now. But just practice it's the first thing. Practice it. How's your energy feeling in that? And is it something that you actually want to do anyway? If you don't, say no.
Yeah, I think we can get into the habit and especially when you kind of do, because I've done a lot of personal development and stuff like that, and we do coaching and we train and we do all of this, and you kind of want to say, almost there's this, you've got to say yes to everything. Actually, no, we don't. So what's one small but powerful step someone can take today to start building a more sustainable business?
Small but powerful step. Start planning. Like if you've never done it before, like a lot of people always say to me, oh, I don't know where to start, or I never plan. Well, that's part of the problem, right? If we're not planning things, we're getting burnt out. So I'll use myself as a case. I like to do this. Use myself as a case study or example. I've got a really busy week and I'm working on my health. So for you, you might have a really busy week, but you want to, grow your business this week. Whatever your intentional goal is, start with that, knowing clearly what it is, but then make the time to plan it. It doesn't have to be long. It doesn't have to be an hour. It can be 10 minutes, as long as you plan something or spend some time doing something. So mine was this week. I've got a health coach, and she was like, right, what's your intentions this week? So I told her, well, I didn't really hit 10k steps a day last week, even though I did a workout every 6 out of 7 days. I was like, that's great, but I want to hit 10k steps also. So she was like, what are you going to do then? So I was like, right, I'm going to plan it in. I opened up my calendar, spent 5 minutes looking at my schedule this week and planned in walks where I could to make sure I'm hitting that. So that's what I did, just that simple of action of knowing what I want. And I know the result that's going to get me as well. It's going to make me feel good. It's going to give me more energy. It's going to be better for my body. So when you're clear about the action and what result it gets you, then you can prioritize it and plan it in. So spend 10 minutes planning that in. I also did myself a meal plan this morning. Again, opened up my freezer. Right, what we got that and that. Wrote it down. This is what we're going to have to each day. So just spend that 5-10 minutes. It's all you need to do. It doesn't need to be a massive master plan, but that 10 minutes can make a massive difference to your day and to your week and so on.
I love that. I think it is that thing. I think a lot of the time, things like planning and stuff, we tend to think is going to take hours. So I love the fact that you're emphasizing it's 5 minutes.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for today. It's been really good. I'm loving these interviews. So I would love to hear your key takeaway. Wherever you're seeing this, in the comments below. You'll be able to connect with Dani both from this video and also obviously as part of the summit. So I would love to see you there, and yeah, have a lovely day.